Good evening, all. My name's Adam Deval, the mental health warrior, and tonight we're going to spice it up again. We have got all the way from Sarasota, Florida. We have got Stephen R. Smith. He has faced numerous challenges in his life. Obviously, I'm not going to say too much. I'm going to let him do that himself because it's best to comment from the good guy. Um, but yeah, it's all about getting these stories out there, stopping the stigma, and all I'm gonna say is kicking ass of mental health. So all I've got to say is welcome, Stephen.
Thank you very much, Adam. I'm honored to be on your show this evening. And it's late for you, and I really wanted to start by saying thank you so very much for working with me on the timing. Really do appreciate that.
You're most welcome. And all I've got to say is hello to Rachel Johnson. She's tuned in tonight. Please get this shirt because this is going to be a phenomenal broadcast. It really is.
Well, it's always
Now, I want
phenomenal
to
with you there, Adam. You're a phenomenal guy, right? It starts there.
hey, we're all warriors at the end of the day, aren't we? We're all
We
warriors.
are. We are warriors in one way or another. And I know that we connected originally on a spiritual level, as well as, we were talking about writing. That's where we originally met, was writing a book.
Yes,
And
yes,
it's about sharing your story. It really is.
absolutely. Now, I want to start because I've picked up this habit now, so I'm going to start with just quick fire questions at you. See if you get them.
Okay.
Tea or coffee?
I'm drinking espresso.
Oh, there you go. Posh. um, film or box set?
You're asking if I am what?
Film or box sets?
Film.
Film. Favorite season?
Spring.
Christmas or Halloween?
Christmas.
Well, from your lives, definitely Christmas because you love the colours. But
Christmas
anyway,
truly
we'll
is
crack
one of
on.
my favorite times of the year. It's special to
Absolutely.
me, Adam, from the standpoint of it. It does symbolize the birth of Jesus Christ, who is my Savior. I do have a higher power. I call that Jesus Christ and God. And so that's a special time for me because it's also involved with family. And, when I think back on it, I missed a few Christmases. And so these years, I just try and make the best of every Christmas.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I want to get started pretty much in the deep end here. I want to start by asking you who, before becoming a dad, before Live with Nature, before becoming a successful businessman yourself, who is Stephen Smith? Who was he like growing up?
Well, as a child, I grew up. Well, I originally am from Ontario, Canada. And so at 9 years old, I moved down to Southern California. And so that was quite a drastic change. But I really grew up in Southern Cal, so to say, on the beaches. I was I was a surfer at the time as a kid, lived only 4 miles from the beach, just enjoying that. And I'm a product really of the 70s, giving away my age a little bit, but you know what, it's not about how many years, it's about how I feel in my mind, and I still feel young. But I was just a footloose fancy free kid playing in the hills, riding bicycles, skateboards, just enjoying myself, and pretty carefree as such. But one of the things I guess I would say is that I kind of was that surfer, that long hair kind of kid, wasn't really a hippie, but had the long hair, enjoyed going to the beach and riding bicycles a lot and skateboards primarily. I was riding a skateboard to school in
Yeah.
high school, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so you were practically grown up around nature, if you think
Always,
about
and
it.
see, in Southern California, that's what I really enjoyed about it, other than it's truly a concrete jungle down there. I mean, there's pavement everywhere. But the fact is that in a 50-mile radius, there was just about everything from an outdoors aspect that a person could want. You have the beach, and yet you had the mountains. You could literally be on the beach and go to the mountains and be in the snow in the same day. You can go a little bit further, you can be in the desert. You can go south and you're down in Mexico. It was really a lot of fun. The diversity of the terrain, the geography was pretty awesome, and I just really have always enjoyed being outdoors.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I know what I feel like being outdoors. I was always outdoors growing up, and now I should shelter myself.
A
Typical
lot of
parent
people are
I am.
sheltering, Adam. That's you may recall this, and I want to say that it was the 80s, late 80s, maybe early 90s, but there was this term called cocooning. And it
Yes.
was all about how people were, like, staying home more than going out, and they were having things delivered, pizza would be delivered type of it's not like today where everything because of COVID is delivered, but, they were staying home more, and computers, home computers were playing a bigger role, so you could get on the internet and entertain yourselves for hours, and the games, the Nintendo stuff, and so,
Oh
yeah, this cocooning thing, but boy, I see it happening more so today, of course, as a result of COVID. Most people are home. I'm still not at home. I'm still out working every day. But a lot of people are stuck at home, and for some, it's very difficult because they're not used to being at home or working from home.
yeah,
But
yeah.
you can
Because I
still get to
remember.
nature.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because I remember. And this was actually yesterday, believe it or not. My son obviously was whinging for his technology, like his Nintendo Switch, and we're like, when we was your age, mate, 9 years old, we never saw inside.
No,
We was out at like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. Came home for some dinner. Went back out. Came back for tea. Went back out again, and it was like 10, 11 o'clock at night before we actually came in fully.
yeah.
We was
It
always
was
out, and it doesn't matter about what weather it was.
it was so different when we were kids than it is today. Um,
Oh yeah,
the technology has really changed the youth for sure. And I love technology, but I struggle with it at the same time. I mean, it's the old story. There's good and there's bad. But no,
yeah,
I was not inside, and I never really was a quote gamer. I mean, maybe board games, Yahtzee, things like that, right? But I was outside. Yeah. I mean, I was
yeah.
outside and I played and then I came home. Exactly.
I know I was that outside. I even told my son I played rugby. I think I was about 11, 12 years old at the time, maybe 13. I played rugby with a broken arm.
I know you love that game too. That's really awesome. We think football's tough, but I think rugby's even tougher. You got to be a pretty tough guy to play that game. I was a baseball player actually. That's what I did for sports. Was play in little league, and I enjoyed that a lot. I really did. Um, it was fun for me, and I was pretty good at it. So um, I just enjoyed playing the game. It's America's
Yeah.
game, they say.
Oh yeah.
As a matter of fact, my brother's at a game today, opening day. As a matter of fact, here in Sarasota for the Atlanta Braves down at the Cool Today Stadium that they just built about 2 years ago. So my brother went to the opening day. He's a longtime Atlanta Braves fan.
Brilliant, brilliant. So obviously, that brings me on to what was life like educational wise? Was you
Yeah.
was you top of the class? Was you the class
No,
clown?
no. It ended up being my very best friend that I met in ninth grade, a gentleman that I've known since ninth grade. We're still very close friends. I mean, I consider him really my closest friend because we still talk to this day. He's also the guy that inspired me to do one of the jobs that I do today, which is the tub refinishing. But he was a class clown. I guess I've always been more serious, you know? And I always thought, hey, this guy's disrupting the class. He should stop that. But
You
he
really
ended up
wanted to
being
join in, though, didn't you? You really wanted to join in.
so we ended up becoming best friends. And gosh, that was in 1975. So what is that? That's 25 and 21. So that's 46 years. It's a long time. Um, Bottom line is that no, the truth of that matter was pretty quickly I started. I guess if I was to say this is what I was a stoner, is what they called us. I wasn't a jock, and I was in agriculture, so I raised a lamb and um, smoked joints, and I was smoking marijuana, and
Yeah,
that's what I was doing. So I was a bit of a potential, I suppose, outcast, so to say. I really was as a teenager, and I started smoking marijuana when I was like 14 years old. Um,
yeah,
as far as grades, like geography was my best class. I got an A in geography, but the rest of them, I was just an average student, C's and some B's and one or two A's type of thing.
yeah, yeah. So obviously that leads you on to when you first became a parent. Um, what was like your response, your reaction?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite understand the question.
Did you get that? Right, can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, I guess it glitched for a second, so
Yeah.
what was the question? Can you just repeat it for me,
No,
Adam?
I was just asking, like, what was your like reaction when you found out you was going to be a dad for the very first time?
A dad for the very first time. I was pretty excited about it. I waited, till I was, what, 30 years old was when I finally had my kid, about 30. I didn't get married till I was 28. And so I was very excited about that, actually. Or yeah, I think that's how it worked. um, Looks how much I was looking back on that. Bottom line is that no, it was about 2 years after I got married. I got married in '86, and then '88 I had my first, she was my daughter, and then I had 2 more sons after that. So I was excited, very excited. I As far as, like, work and stuff like that, I'd done many different things. I was involved, as far, and so just so I can clarify here, I did start smoking marijuana. I didn't end up doing that continuously really for the rest of my life, but I also started
Hmm.
drinking too. Um, but the thing about it was it was more like to fit in. I felt that was the cool
Yeah,
thing to do or whatever. But my point is that I've always worked. I started working when I was 13 years old, and I've been involved in like the wood burning stove industry. My father owned a couple of fireplace stores. I also then went on to get involved in the healthcare industry, and so I was in the healthcare industry for about 15 years, and we manufactured record management systems for hospitals and nursing homes. And so when I got married and had a kid, I was making decent money. I bought my first home in '88. Um, Life was pretty good. And the mother of my children, we ultimately got divorced. Uh, that was in 2000. And the bottom line is that, you know, I enjoyed having children, but because I ended up getting divorced, which my parents are still together, uh, I wasn't there for my kids, and so that was something that I had to deal with for a long time, was the fact
yeah,
that my children weren't that I wasn't there for my children, as they were growing up for a good portion of their early years.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, like obviously we've all got skeletons in our closet, and I don't believe there's any such word as perfect. I don't see myself as a perfect parent. No, maybe overprotective. Yeah, which nobody likes to see that. But yeah, it does. It just brings when we make these mistakes, we actually learn from them pretty quick.
Well, that's actually what I didn't do, Adam. For a long time,
Yeah.
I didn't learn from my mistakes. I kept on doing the same thing, expecting a different result. And if you don't change anything, nothing's going to change. You know, my life was
Exactly.
really pretty good as I was growing up. It took me a long time to really come to my senses and recognize my purpose and my goal in life. Um, I'm blessed because my dad took us camping and stuff like that. So the outdoors was always something I enjoyed. I'm a cancer, I love the water. So that was being outdoors is a great thing for me. But the bottom line is that I had a lot of really great successes. But most particularly, what happened is that the drinking thing ended up getting in my way.
Yeah.
I drank successfully for many, many years, but then I had to start going to AA, is what I did in 1993. And I went through, I've probably been to 1,000 meetings over the years, but I was in and out, and I'd have sobriety, and then I'd start drinking again for various reasons. And so I've had my ups and downs and my challenges. And of course, the most recent was back in 2010, drinking and driving, and that took me all the way to homelessness. I went to jail. I lost control of the business that I'd started here is still going by the grace of God, which is my day job now. I got my job back, but the bottom line is that I say it like this: I love nature. Nature is very grounding. It's really healing for people. Um, oh goodness, sorry about that. Okay, sorry, I did not mute that phone. I'll get that in 1 second. So, technology, right? Live
Oh
broadcast,
yeah.
anything goes. So, my point is that I love being outdoors, but when I got out of jail after drinking and driving, is what happened. September 2000, I had nothing. I had destroyed it at that point. Pretty much everything was over for me. My parents were over it. I'd been through recovery several times. I just hadn't learned my lesson. That's what I said a moment ago. I just did not learn from
Hmm.
those experiences. I wasn't drawing strength from them, like you mentioned earlier. I've had to come to learn to do that. And that takes a routine that I'm sure we'll get to in a minute. But
Yeah.
my point is that I love nature, but I didn't want it for a lifestyle. you know,
Yeah. So obviously let's talk about this homelessness.
sure.
Obviously we know how tough it can be. You've slept on the streets. I've slept on the streets. It it's not nice.
I got pretty lucky. Um, I mean, I'm pretty resourceful. I knew how to take care of myself out in the woods, so to say, because of my formative early years, learning how to camp and fish and be outside,
Yeah.
and it's something that I did with my children as well. I take them camping. I've owned a few boats in the past. My dad had a boat, so we just really loved doing that kite type of stuff, and so I did that with my kids. But yeah, I mean, I had a camp. And so that was a big step up from somebody that either maybe might be living in their car, or for so many, because that was right here in Sarasota. So many that are just literally sleeping in, the alcove of a store or an abandoned building. Um, you get dirty, you got to find a place to get clean. You got to go after water every day. Yeah, it's not an easy thing
Yeah.
by any stretch, but then, Adam, I wouldn't change what happened to me for anything now. I just wouldn't, because that was the point where it's like, hey, look, I don't want it for a lifestyle, but what am I going to do about it? So
Yeah.
that's when the transformation to where I am today started taking place. And that was over 10 years ago.
Gave yourself a bit of a reality check then.
Definitely. Cause I
Yeah.
never for a million years, well, there was a lot of things I didn't think that I was. I didn't think that I was an alcoholic because in my mind, I pictured this alcoholic, the Skid Row, as they say in LA, Skid Row, which is a street, Skid Row drunk, sitting in the gutter, got a bottle of wine, wino, dirty, overcoat, this picture in my brain of this alcoholic. I was never that. That wasn't me. you know, I wore a suit and tie. I'm in the healthcare business. I mean, come on. Um, if I want to drink, I'll go buy a bottle and have a drink or whatever, But
Yeah.
um, a lot of times I just drank too much. And so that's where the problem came in. And so that's what I had to realize is that my addiction to alcohol as well as drugs in the past was unhealthy for me. It didn't ever get me anywhere, and it got me to the point where I just didn't even want to live anymore. Every night I just wished I was dead.
Yeah.
I felt so badly. I was in a huge pity party for myself about how terrible I was. The self negative talk was horrible. And so the turning point was, you know what? This is as far as I want to go. I
Hmm.
didn't ever see myself being homeless. That was the furthest thing from my mind, you know? And yet I was. And so I had to take accountability for the fact that guess what? I had created that. It was my
Exactly.
doing.
Exactly. And we're grateful for you actually still being here today.
Thank you, Adam. I'm grateful that you're here too as well. We know each other. We've known each other for several years. As a
We
matter
have.
of fact, my broadcast the other morning had you on, in the morning sunrise daybreakers, and that was really awesome. And
I
you've
know.
been
Look at
trying.
the difference how I looked then to how I look now.
You look wonderful. You look happy. You're bright. You can just feel the light shining off you, Adam. I'm so very proud of you and what you're doing because I used to call you my dyspraxic champion. Now you're a mental health warrior. So yeah, you've moved up a notch certainly from that because we all have things that we've dealt with. And I was diagnosed bipolar. I certainly dealt with anxiety. um
Hmm.
Mentally, a lot of people said you got a problem. And it's like, so what I recognize now though is that because of my lifestyle and my thinking and all those work that I did on myself, I don't have those mood swings like I used to. I don't
Yeah.
have I'm not going to say that I don't have anxiety sometimes because I do.
Oh yeah.
We're all normal. But the difference for me today, Adam, is that I don't dwell on the negative for any length of time. I'm not
No.
carrying burdens that I carried for decades upon decades. We're talking minutes, maybe hours or something like that, and then I put it behind me.
Exactly. Exactly. Because negativity, it only makes you negative, and that causes you to have these issues. Now, obviously, when it comes to anxiety, depression, PTSD, there's loads of mental health symptoms. I
Mhm,
don't think anyone can actually ever beat them.
mhm,
Taking control, yes, but
mhm.
beating, no. I don't think anyone can ever beat mental health.
There's a lot that goes into it. I mean, certainly if
Yeah.
there's a chemical imbalance going on, then that's a whole different ball game. What I would say for myself, and I might have been in the healthcare industry, but I am not a healthcare professional. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a licensed psychologist or psychiatrist or any of that. All I I was a patient, okay, and then I got a lot of information because of the counseling and the recovery and stuff like that. And so I've applied that. But what I have found is that uh, by adopting a healthy routine, that minimizes a lot of the anxiety or the depression. The depression for me was clearly not liking myself.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I feel very strongly, well, I feel 100% have faith in the fact that God, my God, can make anything happen. Miracles happen, people are healed and can overcome anything by the grace of
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
So I think anything's possible, and then I just really have come to the point where it all breaks back, I think, to thinking. And if we're eating healthy and we've got all the right stuff, our bodies are designed to heal themselves. And so if we're taking care of ourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually, that's what you're talking about, is the ability to be able to manage whatever situation that we might have. I totally agree with that.
You know
That
what?
or
I've
that's
actually
how
been
I see it.
Yeah, I've actually been talking to a few people, and we've all come to an agreement that a podcast should be created and get that message out there. And I would love you to be on this as well, because I'm actually going to call it mental and physical health versus our mindset. Now, the reason I'm actually calling
Yeah.
it that, because there are still a large amount of people that still don't believe all them three categories are actually connected, but
Oh,
even though they are.
100% they are, Adam. I believe that they are because see, I was dealing with alcoholism and using drugs, more so the alcohol. That was the real serious problem, but certainly cocaine, crack cocaine was there. It was in my past too, and that sucked, it really did.
Yeah,
But the whatever, fair enough. But the thing is that yeah, then I had bipolar and I had anxiety and I didn't like suicidal thoughts, all that stuff. And so I do believe they call it dual diagnosed,
yes,
right? Yeah, dual diagnosed. But mindset is where the power is. But and I'm just going to be straightforward. This is where I've come to it in my life. Is that by the power and grace of God and the blood of Jesus Christ, I am saved and I am born again and I have the ability to have a brand new life. And what we were talking just before the show, it really takes a lot of different stuff and professionals, particularly, maybe psychiatrists and psychologists, counselors, coaches, mentors,
yeah,
spiritual advisors, and all kinds, a lot of work, and patience and affirmations and visualization of our goals and turning it over and trusting and having faith in God that just miracles happen and they happen daily. And that so the bottom line for me is by the grace of God, I'm saved and I'm a much better person today. It's that simple.
yeah. And that's where it became where, as they say, two for the price of one.
Yeah,
All those challenges, not only was Stephen Smith born, but Live with Nature was born as well.
it was. It
So
was.
let's talk about that.
Live with nature. That's where it started for me on the video thing. I got involved in Facebook. I think Facebook originally about 2011, but I just didn't do much with it. And as a matter of fact, in 2011, I was homeless, but um, didn't really start getting involved. And I did Facebook for one reason, and that was really to be able to connect to my family and my relatives and know what's going on in their life, and then be able to have connection there, and then my friends, and then to make new friends like we did and stuff. Boy, I just had no idea, Adam, what it was going to be like. So what happened was is that I started doing videos in a group, answering a question of a day, getting involved, and so I just ended up getting, by the law of attraction is what I call it, people like yourself into
Yeah,
my life through other people, mutual people that we knew. We're writing a book. The book is therapy to write that book. It is, and we talked about that too. That transparency and that it's such a release when you can share your story with somebody.
yeah,
Because at that point, you're not afraid of somebody's judgment, or you still might be afraid of somebody's judgment. But when you get to the point where it doesn't matter what other people think,
no, no,
we're just good. We are great people, no matter what
yeah,
mistakes that we've ever made in our entire life. We're still good people. We just made poor
yeah,
choices. That's all.
yeah. And obviously, you mentioned about afraid and all that. Afraid is
Mhm.
connected to fear, and for those viewers out there, fear. Well, all words have a meaning to them. Every single word. It doesn't matter what they are. Fear, false evidence appearing real.
Yeah. When we step into our fears, that is an opportunity to learn. It's an
Yeah,
opportunity to grow. If we do not step into our fear, we're going to stay in a comfort zone. And if you stay in a comfort zone, there's going to be no growth, period. So you have to step out of the norm and step into some fears and take some risks in an effort to succeed at something and to learn and to grow. And even if we fail at that attempt, it's okay. Failure is part of success. It's one step closer to success when you fail. Because if you
first
didn't
attempt in
do
learning.
something, you didn't have the opportunity to fail at it either.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm glad you mentioned about the yeah the issues itself, the judgment, because
Yeah.
if you actually think about it, yeah, none of us actually care about what people think. But in reality, maybe we should. And the reason I'm actually saying we
Yeah.
should care about what people say, because from my good friend Karen Unraw,
Mhm.
I think that's how you say her name. I don't know. I can't remember. She's
Okay.
gonna kill me she's gonna kill me if I say her name wrong. Probably. I don't know. Anyway, we actually need, and I'm gonna connect this to nature. We need shit in our lives for us to actually grow.
Yeah. That's what happens. Those are our
Exactly.
challenges, Adam. Yes, those are the challenges that we're supposed to face and
Yeah.
learn to grow from.
Yeah.
And so those opportunities were growth. And you asked me about the life with nature. So the fact of the matter is that nature was part of me in this transformation of connecting to nature. When I believe that
Yeah.
we connect to nature and we go out there, it does something to us internally. We feel better. Um, so I started doing these sunrise broadcasts, and then they got really
Yes.
consistent. And I mean, I was literally doing them every day practically for many years. I took a break here recently because there was other things. Because what happened was is that this live with nature, just doing these Facebook broadcasts, evolved because it evolved from just you know talking whatever came to my head to more structured and
Mm.
message. And what I found is that these broadcasts were really part of my morning routine to reinforce things when I do those broadcasts and I share about the various topics. It literally is I'm talking to me, you know.
Yeah.
And so, but other people benefit from it too, and that's the beauty. So it morphed itself. It grew to the point now where I actually have a TV show. I have two TV shows: the Sunrise Daybreakers, and I have the Town Hall Get to Know. The Town Hall Get to Know is about, there again, this is a learning experience for me, as well as the ability to help people get the message out, because that's really, as I'm working, well, I created the LWN Live with Nature Foundation. So that's a nonprofit foundation. Its
Yeah.
whole concept then, because I would recognize, guess what? It's my turn to be the servant. It's my turn to pay it forward, to pay it back, and to help other people as best I possibly can by sharing my story, by sharing my strength, by sharing, um, what I'm doing and where I'm going.
Hmm.
So, bottom line is that yeah, I created a nonprofit foundation. As a matter of fact, the LWN Live with Nature Foundation just celebrated 1 year. So that was
Congratulations.
beautiful. My point with the town hall is that I recognized that I said one of the things I said to myself, I want to be surrounded by the most influential people I can possibly think of, people that are smarter than me, that I can learn, that I can grow from. And it happened. And so I have these great guests, like you're having these great guests. And every time we have a guest on a show, we get to learn something new about a
Yeah,
new aspect or something of the whole big picture. And as a result of that, it's an inspirational story. It's about people making a positive impact, like yourself, influential people, Adam, who are making a positive impact in society. And I think in the end, I don't think, I know that for me, I am a servant of God. I'm a child of God. I'm a servant of God. And my job is to help other people and help the
yeah,
community.
absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
yeah, I mean, this is where we are. And I love it. I love my life. I don't hate my life anymore, and that's the beautiful part, you know? Do I have ups
I'm
and
glad you
downs?
mentioned that. I'm glad
Yeah.
you mentioned that you love your life because everyone should love their lives.
It's not
Yeah.
easy. It's not an
No.
easy thing to do that, and you can't just
But tell me what
but
is easy.
some people don't like this statement, but you know what? I know that it works. You might have to lie to yourself. If you hate your life, but you say, "I love my life. I'm so happy." "Well, I'm not really happy. Life sucks." "Oh, well, it's okay. No, I'm so happy." And the more you say that to yourself, even if you don't believe it and you know that it's not true, you got to start getting rid of those self-limiting thoughts. Start believing and having faith. This is a visualization of I am happy. I am joyous. I am free. I am an asset to community.
Yeah,
I am doing good things. And visualize it and repeat it to yourself over and over and over and over and over, maybe for a lifetime, most likely. That will change this subconscious thinking that was telling you you suck. You're no good.
exactly,
So
exactly.
that's where the repetition. So I say this. It takes a lot of work for me to have gotten to where I am. It takes consistency, it takes determination, it takes getting back up after I've fallen down and made sometimes we can still make poor choices and it doesn't really matter. As long as we learn from that experience and move forward, visualize our goals and dreams as already true, reverse engineer it and figure out all the steps I have to get to where I want to be and
Exactly.
work at it every day, it can happen. It will happen. It's happened for
And
me.
that's where it says the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again to expect a different result.
I was certainly there. I was
Exactly.
certainly there.
Now, obviously, my final question for this is what's next for Stephen Smith?
What's next for
What's
me?
next?
The most important things that I'm recognizing is this the next huge step. My everyday steps is to try and empower people to let them know that they have the opportunity to have a good life, that there is hope when things seem dark. So to further that cause, so everything that I do with respect to the foundation, the Live with Nature, is shining that light. Ultimately, the plan is, and I've been talking about it for years, is that the LWN Live with Nature Foundation is going to have a brick and mortar place. It's going to be a bridge, what I call a bridge. It's going to be a property. It's going to be a place for people that have mental health concerns, people that have drug addictions, people that are
Yeah,
trying to get better, bottom line, people that want to hand up, not the people that want to hand out, The people that want to hand up, they want to do something for themselves, not for their brother, their mother, their sister, their kids. Do something for yourself. I'm going to have a place when you happen to come out of that crisis center or you come out of that recovery to live, give you all the rest of the life skills, the coaching, the medical, the clothing, a place to live and not have to worry about the bills and be able to reestablish yourself so that you can go back out into society and be successful and happy and enjoy your life. And so that's I want to have a place where people can not end up coming out of addiction recovery or coming out of a crisis center or struggling with the mental health concerns and end up on the street homeless like I
I
did.
agree.
Okay,
I agree.
so I'm going to have a place for that. That's the big picture. That's where I'm going from here.
And there you go. There you go. That's fair. So
Thank you.
if you're actually experiencing any like substance abuse or substance misuse or anxiety and all that, reach out. You're not
Yeah.
alone.
Well, one of the things that I did that I didn't mention is that underneath the Live with Nature Foundation is a new life referral center. Ultimately, the brick and mortar is going to be a new life transformation center. That's going to be that bridge property where we can get stabilized to get back into society.
Yeah,
But in the meantime, because of what I've done and people like yourself, a new life referral center, what that is, it's a resource. So I know a lot of stuff right here in Sarasota, Manatee counties, but I have friends all over the globe like Adam, right? And so we're here to help you get coaching, support. If you happen to live locally here, I can put you to the right people to get the counseling, get the addiction recovery, get the
yeah,
mental health support, get clothing, get food, because I've put all these resources together. So we've got that too. So I'm here to try and help people get to the services that will help them have a better life. That's what this is all
exactly,
about. Yeah.
exactly.
So that's a great
And I can
idea
do
too that you were talking
yeah, and
about.
I can do nothing but applaud you for that.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah,
that. It means a lot to me, and I'm really proud to be on your show. You're doing so much for so many people, and because of technology and the ability to reach around the world, we are a powerful force of light. And so, yeah, thank you
yeah.
for having me here.
Do you know what? You are most welcome. And please do not be a stranger. It's
I
been
won't.
fantastic having you on. And
Thank you.
I don't want this being the last podcast together. I want to bring
It,
you back on it.
it won't. I appreciate you bringing me back too, and we'll get you back on. I haven't had you on well, we did actually, folks. You can go to the YouTube because Adam is on YouTube on my YouTube channel. We did a town hall before it became. Oh, we did a get to know. See, it morphed into town hall, right? So it's up there though, folks. You can check that out. That is the LWN Foundation on YouTube. So yeah, check that out. We've got one there. We're going to have Adam back. We're going to have him sharing his story on the town hall get to know, because like I said, that's a program about influential people like Adam who are making a positive impact in society. Thank you for all that you're doing, Adam. God
You
bless
are
you.
most welcome. You're most welcome. And on that note, I'm going to end this podcast now. And please share this to anyone that's will
Thank you.
benefit from this. And on that note, cheerio.